Hello everybody, how's it going? Haven't been out in the shop for a few days. We've been pretty busy. My daughter's had a couple of, she's on the dance team, a couple of dances, and I've been going to those. Tonight I had to run up to the little place that I sell my pens at, and I had one of my cooler boxes, they slid it around, and on the foot, a piece of wood chipped off, so I put some glue and some tape on there and fixed that, and then they need me to cut a couple of shelves. One of the ladies that work up there gets old furniture and then refinishes it and sells it. And she doesn't refinish it like back to like the way it was. She does that milk painting and that kind of thing. And I don't know what all that's called, but she does that. And she had a couple of pieces of furniture that needed some shelves, and I measured for those. And they're supposed to, they being one of the other ladies that works up there, tomorrow drop a couple pieces of wood by. And I'm going to run through the table saw and cut them down or to the right size so they'll fit in there. So I got measurements in my wallet for that. I'm out in the garage for a few minutes. My kiddos are trying to get their homework done tonight because we got a lot of stuff to do this weekend and they want to have some fun. So while they're doing their homework, I popped out here and I've got a pen on the lathe that I finished. It literally took 3 hours the other day to put the CA finish on it. And it took 3 hours because there's no humidity in the air and the glue just would not dry. So I just left the lathe spinning. I finally got enough coats on it. It looks really nice. I'm going to show it to you here in a minute. But what I'm going to do tonight is get it separated from the nonstick bushings. Get the little glue fingernails, I'll call them, where the glue's on the end of the, when the bushing comes off, it leaves a little bit of glue on the end of the blank. I'll get that cleaned up. I'll get these put back on the lathe with the turning bushings. And I'll get them micro meshed and polished up, and hopefully all goes well. Man, I hope I don't mess these up because I don't want to spend another 3 hours on this particular pen. So let me show you what it looks like. And here's a quick peek at the pen. The darker wood is ebony and this is bloodwood, and it looks really nice. Like I said, it does need to be polished, which we're going to do that. But what I was referring to with these non-stick bushings, this one and this one are UHMW, this one and this one are HDPE. The UHMW is a little better for separating. The glue sticks less to it, but I need to, because I put the glue on and smeared it over, back and forth, and I got it on the bushings, there'll be a little glue residue between the bushing and the blank. And I need to separate these bushings, and then I'll just lay a piece of sandpaper on the bed of my lathe and rub the blank around to get rid of that little fingernail, and then I'll get these back on the lathe. So let me go ahead and get them off and show you what I'm talking about. I've separated the bushings from the blank, and here's what I'm talking about. You see that little fingernail? This was the UHMW side. This was the HDPE side. So the UHMW really lets loose of that glue, and I've got to get rid of this little fingernail, and there's less of a one on that end. I'm just going to take a piece of sandpaper, and I want to be really careful with this. I'm going to try to break some of this off. There we go. I want to be real careful. And then the way I get rid of it is I just put it on let me lower this so you can see it. On the bed of my lathe, I put a piece of sandpaper, and I just basically rub this back and forth in a circular motion to sand that right down. And you can see it's actually inside the tube. That's okay, we'll get that with a file. I rub it a little bit and then I check it. And I just keep doing that until I get it back down flat with the edge of the blank. So I'm going to turn the camera off. It'll be a little easier to do this without the camera, and then I'll just take a little file and I'll clean out the inside of this blank. That's just where the glue went inside and ran down the bushing, or the nonstick bushing. I've got the ends all cleaned up, and I've put the turning bushings back on, and the pen looks really nice. It's a little bit hazy right now, and that's from fingerprints all over it, kind of smudging it up, and the dust from the glue being sanded off. This should all disappear as I micro mesh it. Now it still feels really nice on the contact with the bushing, so I don't have an extra thickness there from the extra layers of CA, but I'm going to go ahead now and run through. I have 6 micro mesh pads. Yellow, then I run through green, then orange, then purple, then light blue, and then gray. We're going to run through those, and then we'll clean this blank up and put some polish on it. I hope the pen shows up okay on the video, but the blank looks absolutely amazing. All that's left to do is to get it off the lathe and press it together. But I've been called into the house, so it's going to sit here overnight and probably get pressed together tomorrow morning. I'll do some videos on what I'm working on tomorrow, and I'll show you what the finished pen looks like. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. This was just a quick trip into the shop. I got maybe 10-15 minutes out here. But we are going to watch a Christmas movie tonight, so duty calls. We've got very important things to do. One of our family traditions is we probably have 24 Christmas movies that we've purchased over the years. And on nights when the kids have very light homework or no homework, we always pick a movie and watch it. So we're watching It's a Wonderful Life tonight. So that's where I'm heading. So hey, everybody have a great evening. I'll see you real soon. Take care.